It's Saturday, October 29th, 2022. Making a video today on this beautiful, stunning Saturday. And as the sun is out, crystal clear blue skies, the course has just been reseeded. Looks fantastic. The tortoises are out walking around today. It's a beautiful day, but there was so much happening, and we cannot be fooled by the pretty blue skies and the beautiful weather, because there is a lot of danger out there. I was reading a few articles this morning, and I thought, I should make a video this morning and talk about some of this, because it's so important. Because we're watching the markets begin to surge again. We're watching this suckers rally take place, and people are going to get very complacent yet again. People have very short-term memories, and once the markets begin to go back up, people think that everything's going to be okay again. But as I've said in the past, I believe we're going to see lower highs and lower lows. And I do believe this is a sucker's rally. I do believe we're going to get a 75 basis point rate hike next week. But there are some real big concerns out there. We talk about gold, we talk about silver, we talk about having cash and all these preparations. But one that we really better be talking about is food. Food is going to be so important. And there's an article here today coming from Natural News. Americans are skipping meals because they cannot afford food as food inflation fiasco gets worse. Now, we have Americans skipping meals. We have Americans actually starving on the streets right here in America. Wow, we send billions of dollars overseas. Over the past 12 months, nearly 40% of American households receive food or goods from a food bank. When have you ever heard anything like this taking place in America? This sounds more like a third world country. 17% stopped buying healthier food. So we've talked about this many times. People are going to go to the fast food. They're going to go to processed food. They're going to, they're going to buy the cheapest hot dogs at the grocery store. They're going to buy the cheapest processed frozen food at the grocery store. The article goes on to say 18% said they skipped meals or didn't buy groceries due to high inflation. This doesn't sound like the America I grew up in. Does it sound like the one you grew up in? I mean, these numbers are extremely concerning, and it hasn't even gotten bad yet. And many people continue to ignore the warning signs and the red flags. Over 100 food facilities have been destroyed by fire. Now diesel is running low. This, to me, when you read things like this, is a code red. And it's telling you and I that it's time to buy more food. Now, you may say, oh, I have enough food, I have enough food. Do you really have enough food? How much is enough? You can still get it. It's still much cheaper today than it's going to be down the road, and it's available. But I do see big trouble coming as far as this food crisis. And, we talk about the food shortages. Well, if you can't afford the food, and many people, obviously, right now today cannot afford food because they're skipping meals and they're cutting better quality foods out of their lives. But if you can't afford it, then you're going to be dealing with a food shortage. The shelves may be stocked with food, but if it gets so expensive and you can't afford it, you're going to be dealing with your own food shortage. Article from Bloomberg: record high 75% of U.S. winter wheat suffers from drought. It says here, some farmers told Bloomberg that conditions are so dry that fertilizer is evaporating from the soil and plants are struggling to emerge from the ground. These problems that are happening right now, this terrible season that we just had and the terrible winter season we're having, this means big trouble 12 to 18 months from now. We haven't even seen it yet. And let's not forget the thousands of cattle that died from the drought, the record number of ranchers in Texas processing their beef because they can't afford to feed the cattle. These are problems we're going to see 12, 18, 24 months from now. As for winter wheat, 75% of the crop areas are in drought. This can lead to food shortages. Prepare, stock up immediately, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, if you're not buying it now, it's only going to get more expensive down the road. And if you can't afford it, and the food is there and you can't afford it, you're going to be dealing with a food crisis. You're going to be dealing with a food shortage. So we're either going to see two things, and maybe both at the same time. We're going to see areas where food is very hard to get, and we're going to see areas where food is on the shelves, but most people will not be able to afford to buy it. Here's one from the Daily Mail. Really, Janet? Question mark. Treasury Secretary Yellen says she sees no signs of a recession in the U.S. economy despite 2 previous periods of negative growth, falling stock and housing markets, and soaring inflation. Now, they're already pumping us with the GDP, third quarter GDP rising by 2.6%. We'll see if that lasts. But of course, when you're sending billions, tens of billions of dollars overseas, and tens of billions of dollars in special interest, and you know, all these things that they passed over the last year, there's a ton of money being spent out there, but it's all being printed, it's all being borrowed. But it does have, I believe, some effect on the GDP. Now, is this going to help your life whatsoever? No, you're just going to go deeper in debt. It's going to continue to devalue your dollar because of all this money printing and you know, the inflation bill, the money we're sending to Ukraine, the tens of billions of dollars. So this is all factored in, but it's not helping the economy. It's not helping you or I. Here's another one from Fox Business. Fed expected to aggressively hike rates to 5%, triggering global recession. So they're expecting to see rates climb above 5% by March of 2023, even though every day we're being told that there's a pivot, there's going to be a Fed pivot, there's hope that the Fed's going to pivot. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Now, could it happen in 2023? Yes. But right here, according to this Bloomberg survey, they surveyed a bunch of economists, and yes, they're always wrong, but they're saying that we're going to climb above 5% by March of 2023. Imagine what this will look like if the Fed's fund rate is above 5% in March of 2023, how bad this economy is going to be. Next week, 75 basis point increase. December, we're going to get a 50. February, we're supposed to get a 25. And March, we get another 25. So brace for more bad news in October and November also, as rising oil prices. Remember, they were able to kind of, using the strategic reserves, push fuel prices down, push gas prices down, trying to combat the inflation numbers, the CPI. It didn't work, but now fuel prices are going up. They've been going up in this month, October. They're going to be going up in November. So we're going to see an increase in the inflation numbers because of fuel prices going up. The Organic Prepper, interesting article. 2 catastrophic things are about to happen to our supply chain in November. 1, diesel shortage. I think we have about 25 days of diesel storage here in the U.S. of diesel supply. And now the talk of this railroad strike manifesting yet again. And this is going to be big problems for food. And this is a great weekend. Look, it's beautiful, absolutely stunning day. We're probably going to be about 85 today. Not a cloud in the sky. It's gorgeous. Birds are out. The grass is green. Stunning. Don't believe everything you see, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many dangers out there, and so you can just hang out and do nothing today, or maybe you get out and you work on those preps. Maybe you go add a little bit more food. This afternoon I will be going out. I will be adding a little bit more food to the preps, and maybe even tomorrow looking at some other things to add to preps too. It's a good weekend just to take a couple hours out of your weekend and just strengthen up the preps. But I think the biggest one right now is food. And here's another one that I thought that many of you probably already have. We have these, but it's something we don't really talk about. Fire extinguishers. Do you have a fire extinguisher? You know, we talk about having extra clothes, boots, candles, propane tanks, firewood, jet boils, knives, etc. And a list, you could probably list 100 things today that you really, really need. But what about a fire extinguisher? How about multiple fire extinguishers? Maybe a fire extinguisher in the car, multiple fire extinguishers in the house. These are things that we really need to be thinking about. And this is a great weekend. If you don't have a fire extinguisher, you go to the store and you go get a fire extinguisher, or you get two. Do you have one? If you don't, it's imperative that you do. Do you have 6 months of food right now? I think that right now you've got to have at least 6 months of food. Better to have 12. If you have nothing today, it's better to have 30 days than nothing. Do whatever you can do. Do what your budget allows you to do. But if you just want to sit at home today and watch a football game or a basketball game and just believe everything's okay because the sun's out and the stock market is going back up and rallying and the suckers rally, I think you're going to be a victim of what is coming. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make this video today because I know people are going to get complacent again. Don't be fooled by what you're seeing take place in the markets. Don't be fooled by the beautiful weather. People seem to forget very, very quickly, get very, very complacent. This is the time right now we need to be putting our preps together. This is a time we need to be making sacrifices. These are the times right now we need to be preparing. And so today I'm going to do a little bit more in preparation and add a little bit more to food. And I just want to make this video today because I thought it was really, really important to talk about. And I was just reading a couple of these articles this morning. I said, wow, you know, are we really doing enough? And how bad is this about to get? And people just can't really interpret how bad things can get, especially when you turn on the television and everybody just acts like everything is okay, and now the rally in the stock market and everything's going to be okay, and it's just, you know, more of this and that. And I just sit here today and I'm just thinking out loud this morning after breakfast, and you know, I see problems. I see big problems. You cannot deny that this economy has collapsed, and the fallout, the fragmentation that we're going to see very, very soon. People are really, really going to get hurt here. And as we head into the holidays, you know, as I leave you today, make sure you're checking on your friends, your neighbors, your family members, because, you know, people might have a smile on their face. You have no idea what's going on behind closed doors, how far behind people are on rent, their mortgage, on the car payment, what have you. But I don't know, I just woke up today, had breakfast, read some of these articles, and, you know, it's really, really concerning. And yet you have people like Janet Yellen, you have people on the television, you have these economists, the analysts, the politicians, the bankers, all telling you and I everything's going to be okay. I don't think it is. Let me know what you think. Is everything going to be okay? Is this just going to pass over? Market's going to go back to all-time highs. The dollar's never going to come under pressure. We're going to deal with these massive debts and deficits. Inflation somehow is going to disappear and never affect us. I see it quite the opposite. I think inflation is going to get much, much, much worse. In fact, it already is much worse. They're just not telling you how bad it is. You need to be preparing. So take this day, take this weekend, go get your extra preps, go get more food, continue to stay on course. Do not get complacent. God bless you all. Thanks for watching. Share this video. Make sure you subscribe. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. And I look forward to talking with all of you very, very soon.